Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from ignorance to illumination. Lead us from death to immortality. Om peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om prapanna parijataya totra vetraikapanaya jnanamudraya krishnaya Gitamritaduhe namaha. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdham gitamritam mahat. Vasudeva sutam devam kamsachanuramardanam devaki paramanandam Krishnam vande jagadgurum mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam. Bhagavad Gita teaching starts, Arjuna surrendered himself to Bhagavan Krishna, which means he was ready to receive the teachings of the Lord. Always Sharanagati, surrender, means only one thing, not merely verbally saying, I surrender myself to you, but to accept and joyfully whatever comes. Suppose you have some problem and you try to solve the problem according to the best of your ability, but then when we are not sure, we surrender ourselves to the Lord, and genuinely we do that. But are we ready to accept whatever happens without regret, without looking back, and without blaming anybody? Suppose a person is applying for a job or a student about to write an examination, and he does his best. Always remember, only a devotee of God, one who has faith in God, can surrender. Surrender always means surrendering to a being, to a higher power, thinking that having faith that higher power will take care of his affairs. He knows best, he knows better. Sri Ramakrishna's teaching is very useful for us here. There are two types of surrender. One is like a young one of a monkey. That means with great self-effort, surrender happens. Another is the young one of a kitten. There he makes a remarkable statement. Sometimes the mother cat keeps the kitten on the master's bed and sometimes keeps on a rubbish heap. What does this teaching really mean? Master's bed means in happy circumstances. So rubbish heap means what? Uncomfortable, difficult, even conditions of great suffering. But the kitten only mews, it accepts. That should be the attitude of every devotee who says, I surrender myself to you. In fact, we go on every day praying to God, especially the devotees of Ramakrishna. Every day, millions of them, verbally at least, they say this Sharanagati. Do you know how they say? Tasmat tvameva sharanam mama dinabandhu. Every day, though we don't sing here, every day it is sung all over the world. And how many millions of the Ramakrishna devotees are uttering, joining with great joy. What do they mean? Are they really surrendering? Tasmat tvameva sharanam mama dinabandhu. And what is the next hymn that follows? Sarva Mangala Mangalye. There also, Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namosute. Sharanye means what? Who says Sharanye? Only a person who wants to surrender. And then he also praises lest the Divine Mother might forget. 2 verses later on, the devotee reminds her, Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane. Don't dare to forget, you are Sharanagata Paritrana Parayane. That you are devoted, your whole life is duty bound. Only one duty you have. What is it? Whoever surrenders to you, it is your duty to protect others. So what happens? There are certain conditions for Sharanagati. And one of the conditions is, first condition, complete faith. Whatever happens after surrendering to God is for the best of one's life. And secondly, if there is something to be done, it should be done. Thirdly, don't blame anybody. Otherwise we see this person who applies for a job, if he doesn't get, he says, this fellow is like a big obstacle, he came in my path. No, he didn't come in your path. This is what the Lord willed, that you should not get it here. Or the person a student who appears for the examination, what does he say? That this teacher, this examiner, is very bad examiner. He never allowed me to copy from the other person. Absolute, complete, take it. It is the best that can happen. Do not blame anybody. If you say, I surrender, and then blame anybody at the same time, that's not surrender. Arjuna totally surrendered himself to Bhagavan Krishna. And Krishna has taken up the responsibility of correcting his behavior, Arjuna's behavior. So what was Arjuna's problem? First problem was delusion. Second problem was shoka. Shoka means intense grief. So that is a condition out of which he has to come out. And that's why the Lord starts the Bhagavad Gita only with that word shocha. Ashrochyan anvashochastvam. You are grieving for those for whom you should never have grieved. The real men of knowledge do not grieve either for the living or for the dead. And Sri Krishna answers and guides Arjuna from three different angles. If you remember, what was the first angle? It's a spiritual angle. What is the second angle? From the point of righteous duty, righteousness, dharmic point of view. And the third angle is, there may be people who are not spiritual, for them, dharmic angle. There may be people who may not believe even in righteousness, but from the viewpoint of how an ordinary citizen must live. This word citizen is a very important word. The citizen of any country, he may be a believer in God, he may not even be a righteous person. That means who is not duty bound. Duty bound. Because people who cheat, who lie, they are not dharmic people. Of course, they are not spiritual people, because if they are spiritual people, they want to do it. Why? Because here is a very interesting explanation. If to believe in God involves several things. The first thing, to believe in God means that life continues. So what happens for the people who say, we do not believe in God? That means they believe only in this life. After death, what happens? They say, Bhasmi bhutasya asya dehasya punaragamanam kutaha. When once this body is burnt to ashes, where is the question of the person coming back? That means they are called Dayatmanandis. The Lord divides entire humanity into three categories. That is where Shankaracharya comes to our aid. Three categories: Dehatmavadi, Jivatmavadi, and Brahmatmavadi or Atmavadi. Who are Dehatmavadi? They believe only in this body. So long as the body is there, do what best you can do to promote the goodness of the body. Unfortunately, there were Western Greek philosophers called Epicureans. You heard the word Epicurean? Totally devoted to only bodily enjoyments, etc. So, Dehatmavadi means one for whom body alone is the reality and nothing else. So, what they see, duty, faith in God, future life, all washed away. What they say, so long as the body is there, rinam kritva ghritam pipet. Even you may take a loan, but make this body as comfortable as possible. Deha sukha is the only goal. This is one category. Second category is called Jivatmavadi. What is Jivatmavadi? There is life after death. And all of us are Jivatmavadis. What does that mean? There are people who go to the temples. Not only I should be happy in this life, but I should be happy also in the next life, next life, next life. So they want to go to Swargaloka. These are called Jivatmavadis. Then the third category is Atmavadis or Brahmatmavadis. That means I am Brahman. What does that mean? Dehatmavadi means one for whom body is the only reality. I am the body. Jivatmavadi says, I am not the body. I have a body. But this body should be used. Brahmatmavadi says, I am neither the body nor the mind. I am what is called Atman. I have no birth, etc. Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, the very first thing, first shloka in the 11th shloka, 11th verse, he gives, there are people called Pandits. Who is a Pandita? A man of knowledge. According to Shankaracharya, what is knowledge? That which is truth, the knower of truth is called knowledge. So misinterpretation of this knowledge in various ways is called ignorance. Now ignorance means not absence of knowledge, but understanding truth partially. This idea has to be very soon we are going to come here. First, Bhagavan is telling, so Panditas, people of knowledge, are those who do not grieve either for the living or for the dead. Why do they not grieve? Are they heartless people? When somebody is born, they should rejoice. When somebody is dead, they should be grieving. But no, they do not do it. Why? They are called Brahmatmavadi. Which category they belong? Those who say, I am Brahman. Is Brahman born? Does Brahman die? Will there be any change in Brahman? Because according to Vedanta, our experience is we are constantly going through 6 changes. What is the very first change? Birth. These changes are there. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyate. We are not talking about speculative philosophy. We are talking about our practical day-to-day experience. Asti means what? Something is there. Jayate means what? Something is born. Say for example, wood is there, but a table is born. That means what? You change the wood into table. Then vardhate, it grows. Say baby is there. Is baby born from non-living into living, or one type of living into another type of? What do you say? Whatever doesn't exist has no reality. Even the baby, like a seed, that is a very beautiful analogy. We always say seed or tree, which is first? Chicken or egg? So first example is for the vegetarians, second example is for the non-vegetarians. Okay, the seed, is it living or not? It is living. So what happens? Asti, it is there, life is there. And then what is the next thing? Jayate, somehow it becomes transformed. That is called Jayate. Is born, we call it born. Like a seedling is born. You just look at a seed, you don't see any life in there. The moment you put it then in the soil, slowly the seedling comes. So asti jayate. Then what is the third one? It starts to grow. Vardhate. Then viparinamate. It goes on changing. The more it grows, the more it changes. We see the seed, how it goes on changing from a small seedling, more number of leaves, then branches, then huge trunk, then different type of branches. It goes on changing. Then a time will come, a time must come, apakshiyate, Slowly it is becoming old. It is slowly going towards destruction. Apakshina. Apakshina means what? Slowly it is going back to its original state. It's like a cycle. Yeah. And then what is the last change? Vinashyati. Vinashyati means what? Destruction. But in Vedantic terminology, birth and death have got a peculiar connotations. You know what are they? Coming into manifestation and going out of manifestation. There is no death at all. Even from the physical scientist point of view, matter doesn't have birth or death. The whole universe is coming out of what? Matter. You see, whole universe comes out of matter. From the scientific point of view also, there is absolutely no coming, a non-existing thing coming into existence. Means something which was never there suddenly comes into being. It is unacceptable. Vedanta also totally follows that. These are the 6 changes. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. Every object in this world has to go through all these things. But always remember, birth means what? Coming into manifestation. One interesting way of explaining is, suppose you are entering into this room for the first time and you see this table. So far as you are concerned, first time, this table has taken a birth for you. And the moment you close your eyes, it is dead. So every day the whole universe is coming into existence and going also out of existence. In that sense, when you go to deep sleep, what happens to the whole world? Is it dead or is it alive? It is dead. As soon as you wake up, what happens? Interesting fact is, very human psychology is so interesting. Early morning we say, it is early morning, the day is starting. A fellow in Australia is also saying day is starting. We are also saying day is starting. A person in Seattle also is telling day is changing. What does he mean? What does you mean? Different timings, you know. Yeah. You go to the sun and say, when do you rise? Give me your early morning. You will not be able to say. Keep this in mind from the point of the Brahmavadin, Brahma Atma Vadin. What does that mean? Vadin means one who believes. Atma means this is me. Brahmatma Vadin means he who believes I am Brahman, I am Atman. For him, all these things do not exist at all. Then this middle category, what are they called? Jivatma Vadins. So what is Jivatma Vadin means? He says, a Jivatma Vadin says, I have a body, I have also a soul. He who stands in between and says, I have a body and I have a soul. In between he is standing. For him, what does he mean by birth and death? What he means is, the birth and the death are the manifestation or non-manifestation of both the body and the mind. Sukshma Sharira. These ideas will become clear in course of time. Sukshma Sharira. So there is this subtle body is there. What is subtle body? In simple terms, mind. So the mind also has a birth. Is it true? The mind has a birth. What is mind? Mind means thought. So do you have the same thoughts? Do you not have new thoughts many times? Whenever we have a new thought, as if a new mind has come into being. And does this thought continue all the time? And if it continues, you are a liberated soul. Because what is spiritual practice? To keep one thought, the thought of God, all the time. But here also, I will tell you something very interesting. In every thought, there are 2 parts. First part is the thought. Second part is that which illumines the thought. That's why, Vedanta it takes a long time. I am repeating so many times so that the fundamental basic ideas become clear to us. So I'll give you an example. Just watch me. What do you see in my hand? What do you see? Okay. Now what do you see in my hand? Now you see, this is the most fundamental mistake we are committing. When I have held up this paper, you should have said that I see two things. One is the piece of paper, another is that light because of which I was able to see the piece of paper. But the moment I remove the paper, what do you see? You don't say that. You never said that. There is light. How do we know? Because if there be no light, then you will not see anything. It's a very profound idea. Keep always in mind. So what does that mean? That whenever we see an object, that means we are able to see simultaneously two things. Light and that which light reveals. Without light, can you see anything? Also a thought, whenever we think of a thought, there are two factors are there. Every thought has got two components. The one component is the thought itself. Another component is that which reveals a thought. Otherwise, how did you come to know I have this thought in my mind? That means what comes before you cognize the thought? And what do you mean by I? Awareness. You know that if you are not aware, will you know what thoughts are there in your mind? Always remember this. Whenever there is a thought means vritti in the mind, there are always two components. Awareness plus a thought. Now, here is the deep Vedanta. Whenever there is a thought, how many components are there? Two components are there. Awareness plus thought. Now, can there be thought without awareness? But can there be awareness without thought? Simply don't say yes or no. Try to understand it. Because if there be no awareness beforehand, there would be no you will not know anything. Even to say I do not know, you need that awareness that either I know or I do not know. You have to know about it. A Jivatmavadi is one who is aware of awareness, and at the same time he is aware that there is an awareness, there is a body, and there is a mind. And body, mind are the components which constantly change. Awareness is a component, 24 hours it is there. 24 hours, never it is divided. Suppose you say, I am in deep sleep. Is there an awareness or not? In deep sleep, do you have awareness or not?
No.
Yes, because if you are not having awareness, how will you know that you did not know? Even to say, I was asleep, you never say, I was not asleep, isn't it? If that I were not to be there, then you would not even know whether you were in deep sleep or not.
Is that what we call the witness, Maharaj?
Witness. Sakshi is Jiva, that is real Jiva, Jivatma. The rest is subtle body and gross body, and of course causal body. So we are aware of the causal body in deep sleep, but at the same time the nature of the causal body is you don't see anything. You know, causal body is compared to a seed. What do you see? Suppose there are two seeds, two banyan seeds. Do you see any difference what is within it? Only when you sow it, when they grow, one grows a luxuriant plant, another maybe a small stunted growth. You do not know anything about it. You know, we are all in the form of seed before we are all born. The mother's seed, egg they call it, and then father's seed. When there is father's seed and mother's seed, suppose all of us, we are in the form of the seed. Imagine will you be able to imagine what we would become? Who will be man? Who will be woman? Who will be a monk? Who will be a householder? Who will be married? And who is unmarried? We will never be able to see the difference. That's why it is called causal state. Cause, you cannot differentiate. Only when it comes into manifestation, then we understand. anything, the cause of anything, a cause of anger, cause of desire, cause of jealousy. In the causal form, it is non-manifest. Only when it manifests, it is felt, we become aware of it, and it becomes expressible, whether we are aware of it consciously or not, unconsciously or not. So, the point we have to understand here is, there are three types of people. So, Sri Krishna gives answer to all the three types of people, and each one of us at a particular time fall into one of these three groups. When you are terribly hungry, in which group you are falling? Dayatmanavadis. When you are reading a book, when you are meditating, hopefully when you are listening to my talk, which type do you belong to? Jivatmavadi. That means you are identified with your mind. And when you are not aware of anything excepting pure consciousness, then you are identified with Brahmatma. To Sri Krishna, he is expounding the teachings from the Brahmatmavadi point of view. What is Brahmatmavadi? From the Brahman's point of view. If we forget that, then we have problem in understanding all these shlokas. First thing he says is, a man of Brahmatmavadi, a man of knowledge. Knowledge means what? I am Brahman. He will never suffer. Negative language. He never grieves. That means what? Positively, put it positively. See, he never grieves. He is never unhappy. What does that mean? He is always happy. And how can he be happy? He gives three conditions are there. The first condition, what is that? Sat, Chit and Ananda. What does that mean? That we grieve when something is going out of manifestation. Existence, please always remember, there is nothing called becoming non-existent. Existence means manifested. Non-existence means simple, unmanifested. Yeah, here is an example, it is a baby born. This baby, we say, he is born, and after some time, this being dies. What do we mean by birth? Previously, this baby was in some other form, but now it has become visible form. And very interesting point is, for a form to be visible, it must fulfill two conditions. For any object to be experienceable, two conditions must be fulfilled. It must have a form and it must have a name. So, simple example is, here is a piece of wood. So, you don't call it a table, you don't call it a chair, you don't call it a door or whatever. But the moment that same wood is given a particular shape, naturally you give a particular name. Why do you give a particular name? To distinguish it from other particular shapes, forms. So then you say a table is born. Or you don't say, because we use the word born only for living creatures. For non-living creatures, we say it is made. But it means the same thing. Babies are made. Yeah, in future, laboratory, babies made in the laboratory, made to order. Only when something assumes a particular shape, then we give a particular name. Then that object becomes experienceable by us in a particular way. What is the point of all this discussion? The first point is, there is nothing called non-existence. What does that mean? It means there is no death. That means what? There is no birth. You see, if there is no birth, there is no death. If there is no death, there is no birth. And if there is no birth and death, in between, those four other modifications, changes, vartate, viparinamate, vinashyati, these changes also will not be there. Understandings we have. When we say this world, it means every single object in this world falls under this category of an object, and every object has to go through these six-fold modification. But for a Brahmatmavadi, one who knows I am Brahman, the first thing is, how many Brahmans are there? Only one. Therefore, there is nobody. So, there is no one, no other object for whom a person should grieve or not grieve. Grief always comes for whom? For something other than oneself. Is it not? I lost something. By the way, this grief comes or unhappiness comes because of two reasons. We know what are those two reasons? One, to lose what one already has. I have something, either a car or a bicycle or money or whatever. The second is not to get what I fondly expecting to get. A Brahmatmavadi, unfortunately, there is nothing for him to lose because he is the only one. Second is, there is nothing for him to expect, because to expect to desire something, there must be something other than oneself. This was a point last class we discussed. Nobody desires oneself. I want myself. A desire means always for something which is other than me. Brahmatmavadi need not grieve, will not grieve, because he knows. Another reason, there are many reasons. One more reason they give is that why do we desire something? Why do we fear something we are losing? And here also there is a very important point. Do you grieve when you lose something which is giving you trouble? That which is causing you unhappiness, do you grieve if you lose it? And do you expect something which you say it is going to give me unhappiness? Do you expect? Always there is something that which we think gives us happiness, or that which we have, but we will lose happiness if we lose. That is the cause of all grief, isn't it? In other words, this arrival and departure problem is not there for the Brahmatmavadi. For everybody else there is. Okay. So that's why in the 11th verse he says, a true man of knowledge neither grieves for the living nor grieves for the dead. One more important point. In the eyes of a Brahmatmavadi, is there something called living and dead? Just now we discussed it. What is living? That which comes into manifestation. What is dead? That which goes out of manifestation. Simplest example is, we are sitting here. One of us go outside. Do you grieve? Yes. If that person is your beloved, you grieve. And suppose somebody goes from here. Will you be happy or unhappy? Suppose he is always coughing. 1 year back only he took bath. We are not talking about. What we are talking is, would you grieve if someone goes out? Would you be happier when someone comes from outside into this room? You don't. Why? Because they are neither born nor dead. That means you know that they are there somewhere. For a Brahmatmavadin, these words birth and death have absolutely no meaning at all. Because Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, everything is nothing but Brahman is there. Therefore, from that viewpoint of view, whether it is Arjuna, whether it is Duryodhana, whether it is Bhishma, whether it is Krishna, there is no such distinction, separation at all. All from the Brahman's point of view, all are exactly Brahman. So there is no difference at all. And then in the 12th, this one is Sri Krishna is telling, Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayam atah param. There never was a time when I was not there, when you were not there, when any of these kings were not there. Nor will there be a time when we all cease to be. There was not a time when we were not there. There will not be a time when we will cease to be. What does that mean? Put it in a positive way. There is no birth, there is no death. We are there eternally and unchangingly. Therefore, there is no need for anyone to grieve. And then he says, but our normal experience, here is a baby, he was not there, and he was born only a few days back. Then he is slowly growing, and then one day he will become an old person, and then he will also die. Is it not? We see these changes. How do you explain this one? So Krishna is telling in the 13th verse, Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiraha tatra numuhyati. Dhira means a wise man. A man who knows the nature of things. A man who knows the nature of existence. A man who knows the nature of existence. What is the nature of existence? Existence always exists. What is the meaning of existence? Can you imagine existence ever going out of existence? You cannot imagine. So we are very poor in imagination. What is going to happen to me after my death? If you truly believe that you are going out of existence, will you be worrying about it? You know, normal day-to-day experiences, and somebody gives an ice cream, then what happens to that? It goes out of so-called existence. When someone gives to you ice cream, when you scream, they give you ice cream. Then what happens to that ice cream? Your screaming stops. The ice cream has screaming stops means what? Ice cream disappeared. Will you be grieving or your face is full of joy? So these changes are experienced by everybody. How do you explain? So Bhagavan Krishna is telling, a wise man never grieves. Because whether it is the table, wood is in the form of a table, or wood is in the form of wood, he knows that the table and the wood are indestructible. As existence, the table always exists. But why do we grieve? Because in the form of wood, it always exists. But in the form of a table, it doesn't. That means, if we are emphasizing on the name and form, every name and form will disappear sooner or later. This is the nature of the world. Even 1 second back, what happened? It disappeared. So, dhiraha tatra na muhyati. A wise man is one who doesn't grieve because he understands by this really no change has taken place. Apparently, change has taken place, but really no change has taken place. Then he says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkadaha agama payinaha anityaha tan titikshasva bharata. It is the union or proximity of the senses and their objects which brings about the experience of heat and cold, joy and sorrow. These feelings are not permanent and they have a beginning and an end. Man should bear with them so long as we are alive, because there is a body and there is a mind. We have to experience beautiful truths about life. What is it? Suppose Sri Ramakrishna is there. Is a Brahmatmavadin or not? Does he get hungry or not? Yes. Does he feel cold or not?
Yes.
In the Gospel, first chapter, Sri Ramakrishna was putting on a moleskin shawl. Why was he putting moleskin shawl? Because it was winter, cold. So Sita and Ushna means heat and cold and heat. Sita means cold and Ushna means heat. By that what he means, whatever type of hard, soft, good smell, good sight, bad sight, anything experienced by our 5 sense organs, those experience. Matra means sense organs. Matra means sense organs. And when the sense organs come into contact with the objects, they bring about certain sensations within us. When do they bring the sensations? Only when there must be objects, there must be sense organs, then there must be a mind with awareness. 3 things must be there. Here is a table. But if I don't have the eyes, I will not be able to see it. Even if I have the eyes, if my attention is diverted, I can't experience it. So 3 things are necessary. When these 3 things are together, then the information comes. A very interesting topic. Because this information, it transforms our perception and our experience. What is the experience? You think when we come across these objects, automatically a fixed type of experience is available to every one of us. It is one of the greatest myths in the world. The same object which gives happiness to some people will give unhappiness to other people. That is a very important point. But here what he is telling, these things are experienced by everybody. Brahmatmavadin, Jivatmavadin, of course Dehatmavadin. The experience is not different, but how they feel that experience, that changes. See, birth and death, for example. How does a Brahmatmavadi experience? He says it has no meaning. For Jivatmavadin also, it has not really much meaning. Only for Dehatmavadin, oh, I am going to die. That means I will not be here. So that experience is there. What is the point of this verse? Bhagavan is telling, oh Arjuna, whether it is you, me, Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhana, or anybody, heat is heat, cold is cold, happiness is happiness, unhappiness is unhappiness. So, but a wise man understands this and doesn't grieve. What does he say? Not that he doesn't suffer or he doesn't enjoy. Very important point. When Sri Ramakrishna eats a Rasgulla, does he enjoy or not?
Yes.
And when he has to be given a bitter decoction, does he not feel the bitterness or not? Feels. But what he knows, that is sweet, okay, it will be like that. This is bitter, it will be like that. Their mind doesn't change. But they are not fools. They are totally aware of what is happiness, what is unhappiness, but they don't identify themselves. If you are going to be a spiritual aspirant, don't expect because you are a devotee, God will always make you happy and He will make all the non-devotees unhappy. Don't think like that. These are common things to everybody. Tan titikshasva means bear them with equanimity until the body falls, until the mind dies. These experiences are common. This is nothing to do with spirituality. Even for an ordinary person, these experiences come and go. Who is a happier person? A person who understands these are inevitable. So if you cannot remedy them, bear with them. That's what he says. Then you see, Yem hina vyathayanti ete purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram so amrutatvaya kalpate. O best among men, the spiritually awakened man, whom these dual feelings or experiences do not afflict, who remains the same or equanimous under joy and sorrow, verily become fit for freedom. What this verse is telling, for those who want to progress in spiritual life, the first thing they have to be aware that the worldly experiences will be sometimes give happiness, sometimes they give unhappiness. Do not expect because you are spiritual, everything will become only positive to you. This is the nature of the world. Sometimes some seasons bring heat, some seasons bring cold, some people bring happiness, some people bring unhappiness. Tulasidasa is beautiful verse he is telling. Salutations to both saints and wicked people. Both of them give me immense joy. When saints come to me, they give me immense joy. When wicked people go away from me, they give me immense joy. See, both of them give joy only. Why are wicked people necessary? So that when they go away, you feel the joy. It's not a laughing matter. When do you enjoy your food? When you are hungry. When do you really enjoy your sleep? When you are extremely tired. If the opposite quality is absent, you will not be able to really appreciate. As spiritual aspirants, there will be friends, there will be people who criticize us, there will be people who do not like us, there will be people who degrade us, who talk behind our backs. They do not think that they will not be there. They will be there. So, but bear them. How to bear them? Expect them. What is the secret of bearing them? Expect them. If you don't expect, then the problem comes. As Swami Chinmayananda used to say, so only when you have an appointment, there is a chance of disappointment. So when you have absolutely no appointment, then you will never be disappointed. It is a fact. That means when you are expecting something, I may get this thing, I should get this thing, then I will be happy. Then most of the time, it is disappointment only. One devotee asked a Swami, does God answer all the prayers? He said, yes, every single prayer. Most of the time the answer is no. Very good advice. If we want to progress in spiritual life, we have to bear with them. What type of bearing? Shankaracharya gives a beautiful this thing. This is called titiksha. The Sanskrit word for forbearance is called titiksha. What is titiksha? Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam titiksha sa nigatyate. Titiksha, that is defined as titiksha or forbearance. First, sahanam sarva dukkhanam, forbear all sorts of miseries, unhappinesses, grievances without getting agitated. A little bit, not too much. That is it. Apratikara purvakam. If someone gives you some unhappiness, do not think how I can take revenge. Never think. Because the law of karma always works. It is not for us. God is there. He will see what is appropriate. Maybe it is also due to my Purva karma, who knows? Not that we are innocent and these things are thrust upon us. So this is the Chinta Vilaparahitam. Oh, why did it happen? It should not have happened. We are looking back without thinking, okay, what has happened, and then never think of taking revenge and joyfully accept, because this is considered as a kind of tapasya, austerity. What is austerity? You don't need to go anywhere. Just to forbear all the problems, all the happenings that are happening which are negative, with this kind of mentality called titiksha, with these three conditions. What are the three conditions? That do not think of taking revenge, bear them with cheerful mind, and do not look back and say, regret why these things happened, they should not have happened, something else would have happened. With these three conditions fulfilled, life becomes very joyful. Even if you are not a spiritual aspirant, you will be a happier person. The 16th verse, most beautiful verse. Nasate vidyato bhavo nabhavo vidyate satah ubhayorapi drishtontastvanayoho tattvadarshibhihi. The ephemeral can never be, and the eternal can never cease to be. Men of self-knowledge who have seen the truth have known the real nature of both these. I will very briefly let you know about this particular verse. It is like this. Nasato vidyate bhavaha. That which is existence will never go out of existence. And the opposite. What is opposite? Non-existence has no existence. A man of knowledge knows both these things and he doesn't grieve. He is called Tattvadarshi, a knower of truth. Now, here the point is, an existence will never go out of existence. This is what scientists say, matter or energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed, but it can be transformed. A little bit of that matter is what we call, we are not talking only about this earth. We are talking about the galaxies, we are talking about how many billions and billions of galaxies are there, is all a teeny bit of what is called matter or energy. And they are always getting transformed. Those who know a little bit of science, there are some things called black holes. What is black hole? When something is made unmanifest, it is called a black hole. And when something is being made manifest, that is called white hole. Black hole, opposite is white hole. Simplest way of trying to put it. Now, from the Vedantic point of view, God is existent and God is everywhere. Can you ever imagine God, one day he will become non-existent? Can you imagine God who is limited, who is somewhere in other world, not here? Can you imagine? So God is everywhere. If God is everywhere, where this table is there God or not? We will close this talk. We will explore this profound verse in our next class, which would be in the month of January. But what is important, if something is all pervading and God is That is the meaning of word Vishnu. Vishnu means what? He who is everywhere. Vyapakatvat Vishnu. He who is everywhere. Everywhere means all the places only he is there. That's why Vishnu is not the name of a god. Vishnu is a characteristic of God. In fact, in Sanskrit, there is no name of God. Every name of God is a description of his quality. Description of his quality. That's all. Even your name also. You know your name, Atul. Atul means what? Incomparable. Tula means Tulana. Atul means incomparable. What is the point? God is everywhere. Here is a very important point. If God is everywhere, and whatever we perceive must be what? God. That's an important point. If God is everywhere, He is here. Where there is a table, is there God or not? And what is the table then? It is nothing but God in the form of table. So God in the form of every single object that we experience is what we call Vishwam, universe. God in the form of the sun, in the form of the moon, in the form of the stars, in the form of every single object in this world. That means there is nothing besides God. This is the profound idea, especially this particular verse. I gave this idea. What is it? Existence will always be existence. And existence will always be everywhere. Because even if you have to say the table is, what are you talking about? Is means what? Existence. Table is, carpet is, man is, the dog is, bird is, whatever object you have to say is. And of whatever you say is nothing but existence. And as existence, everything is a manifestation of existence. Nama and Rupa. What is non-existence? We are not talking about non-existence. Because the real non-existence, you should not talk, you need not talk. If something is non-existent, and can there be really something non-existent when everything is existence? But what is our experience? With every object, we have two types of experiences. That which is eternal and that which is temporary. Simple example is this table. As wood, it is always, it is. But as table, it is temporary. There is a human being. That is permanent. But human being means you mean a particular form and a particular name. That is always changing. This is called, in Vedanta, it is called mithya. Mithya means what? When existence is experienced as pure, it is called existence. When the same existence is experienced as name and form, we call it mithya. Mithya is not non-existence. Mithya is experience of existence with a particular name and form. These are the points we will discuss elaborately. The third point is that existence has become table, or is that because of my sense organ, I am experiencing existence in that particular form. Suppose you don't have eyes, you can't see any colors. Suppose you don't have ears, you don't hear any sounds. Suppose you don't have nose, you will not see any, feel any smell. If there is no tongue, you will not be able to taste. If there is no skin, you will not be able to feel heat, cold, hard and soft. Is it not? When imagine there is a person who doesn't have these five sense organs, then is there something called world? It's not there. In fact, in our deep sleep, there is no world. That's why it gives so much of peace, so much joy. There is nobody to disturb you. This is the third idea we have to explore. What is the first idea? Existence. What is the second idea? It is only existence when it is experienced through the five sense organs. We call it an object, and whatever is an object is called mithya. What is the third point? We are going to discuss whatever object is there. Is it an object as really existence became an object, or because of our subjectiveness we are experiencing existence as a particular object? These are very profound ideas. We will explore in our next class. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.